Hi, welcome to the Crypto Republic. Before we begin today, if you're serious about staying ahead in this once-in-a-lifetime financial shift, make sure you like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Republic. Hello, XRP Army, and welcome back to the Crypto Republic, your go-to channel for the latest high-energy updates in digital assets. Before we get started with today's business, make sure to smash that like button, ring that bell, and subscribe to the Crypto Republic, bringing you updates every day at 9 a.m., noon, and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome back to the channels, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to your favorite crypto news channel. Today was an epic day for XRP and the whole crypto market as a whole. The Bitwise XRP spot ETF went live on the New York Stock Exchange, and ladies and gentlemen, this is groundbreaking stuff. We're talking unprecedented volumes, new retail participation, and massive institutional adoption. Before we jump in, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And remember, this channel is about staying informed, not giving financial advice. Now let's dive in. Let's take a look at the crypto market this morning. Bitcoin is trading back below 89,000. XRP is hovering around $2. Ethereum is at around 2,900. Solana, Cardano, Dogecoin, Chainlink, Avalanche, all red across the board. Even in a pullback like that, volatility is normal in crypto. These dips are where opportunities arise for long-term investors who stay patient. Remember, the market doesn't move on charts alone. It moves on narratives, legislation, and institutional adoption. Today, the Bitwise ETF launch is the headline, and it could reshape everything. So what makes the Bitwise XRP ETF so significant? Let me break it down for you. Institutional access. Previously, family offices, trusts, and big investors had trouble buying XRP directly because of compliance and accounting issues. Now, they just buy through their brokerage account. Simple enough, right? Volume. In the first 90 minutes, Bitwise handled 15 million in volume. It was projected to reach 70 million today. Compare that to Canary Capital's $59 million launch, and you can see why this is huge. Supply dynamics. ETFs purchase XRP from OTC over-the-counter desks and exchanges, creating a supply shock. When inventory starts running low, prices often respond sharply. Think of it like the historical 2017 Bitcoin ETF hype. Back then, when new capital entered the market, prices spiked dramatically. Institutional adoption works in a very similar way. This isn't short-term hype, ladies and gentlemen. This is adoption at scale. The ETF is opening doors for new capital that has never touched crypto before. Let's look at retail versus institutional sentiment. What's fascinating is the divergence between retail sentiment and institutional moves. Retail traders panic at every dip. They overreact at every spike. Meanwhile, institutions quietly accumulate in the background, taking advantage. Looking at XRP, key support levels are at $1.90 and $1.56. Over-the-counter desks reducing liquidity, ETF issuers actively buying. This is a recipe for a potential price squeeze once retail catches up. And don't forget the Clarity Act is coming. Companies like Amazon, Google, and Meta could integrate crypto wallets directly into their platforms. XRP holders, this is strategic leverage. Historically, we've seen this pattern in other markets. During the 2008 financial crisis, savvy institutions accumulated undervalued assets while retail panicked. The analogy is simple. Patience and positioning pays off. Let's look at some historical events and analogies. Let's talk history. You guys know I love history. Remember the Kraken glitch of 2021? XRP prices temporarily spiked 90% in minutes due to a sudden liquidity mismatch. While chaotic at times, it showed just how sensitive the market is to supply shocks, can trigger big swings when liquidity is thin. Think of the analogy of a dam. When retail is holding water back, institutional inflows are like adding pressure to the system. Once the gates open, the movement can be swift and dramatic. Let's talk about macro content and stimulus updates. On the macro side, there's exciting news. President Trump recently announced $2,000 stimulus checks for middle and low-income Americans. History shows this leads to fresh capital entering the markets. Interest rates. If the Fed cuts rates as expected, more liquidity flows into risk assets like crypto. Combine these factors with ETF launches and the Clarity Act, and the narrative for XRP and other digital assets becomes incredibly bullish over the midterm. Think of it as planting seeds during spring for a summer harvest. Institutional adoption, legislation, and macro tailwinds all create fertile conditions. Let's talk Clarity Act and regulatory updates. Clarity Act deserves its own spotlight, ladies and gentlemen. Bipartisan discussions are moving forward in the Senate. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong has met with senators about crypto legislation. This bill could define which digital assets are commodities versus securities, giving XRP a massive edge. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, XRP is the only major token with legal clarity in the U.S. That's a huge strategic advantage as ETF issuers and institutional investors make moves. Here's a historical analogy. It's like the early railroad investors in the 1800s. Knowing the legal and regulatory environment gave them a massive edge over competitors. Let's talk XRP supply and price analysis. Let's talk price action and supply dynamics. Over-the-counter desks are running low on XRP. ETFs have to source from exchanges. As supply diminishes, even modest buying pressure can cause significant moves. Key ranges to watch: $1.90 critical support, $1.56 black swan scenario. The market holds these levels. XRP could accelerate once ETFs fully ramp up. For long-term content, XRP reached 17 cents in 2019 and now is trading above $2. Institutional money is flowing, ladies and gentlemen. Adoption is very real, and legal clarity continues to strengthen. All right, let's summarize this. Bitwise XRP ETF is live now. Record-breaking volumes. Institutional adoption is accelerating, bringing billions of new dollars into crypto. Legal clarity with XRP gives it a strategic advantage over other tokens. Macro tailwinds, stimulus checks, interest rate cuts, Clarity Act support further growth. Price dips are opportunities. Stay level-headed, remain strategic, and understand the narrative. So, my friends, stay calm, stay informed, and stick with us for daily updates. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button, subscribe, and comment. Do you think XRP will close above its all-time high this year? We'll see you in the next video with more updates, price insights, and regulatory news. Until then, remain level-headed and strategic in your crypto journey. Always do your own research and consult a licensed financial advisor before making investment decisions. Remember, the game is changing, and those who understand it first will benefit the most. Make sure you're on the right side of it. You have two choices. You can be like the crowd, reacting after the move, rationalizing why they missed it, telling themselves they'll never let it happen again, or you can be like the one who saw behind the curtain, the one who understood the infrastructure shift, the one who positioned early, not randomly, but intentionally. Because some moments in history are loud, but the ones that change everything are quiet, right up until the moment they're not. And this is one of those moments. Do not blink, because the world is distracting you with noise, while XRP continues developing behind the scenes and building momentum in the broader digital asset landscape. Stay sharp, stay informed, accumulate knowledge. Your move now will be remembered. This is not the end of the story. This is just the beginning. This opened your eyes. Smash that like button, ring the bell, and leave a comment with your thoughts. Turn on notifications, and most importantly, subscribe to the Crypto Republic. We break down the major global banking trends shaping digital assets today, giving you context, clarity, and research you can use. Don't just watch history happen. Stay informed, stay ahead, and stay in the Republic.